আজকের পৃথিবীতে বাণিজ্য মানে শুধু পণ্য আদান প্রদান না, এটা এখন কৌশলের খেলা। কোথায় বিনিয়োগ যাবে, কোন দেশ সাপ্লাই চেইনের অংশ হবে, আর কে পিছিয়ে পড়বে, সবকিছুই বদলে যাচ্ছে চোখের পলকে। এমন এক বিশ্বে বাংলাদেশ ও জাপানের বন্ধুত্ব 5 দশক পুরনো। দেশটিতে রপ্তানির পরিমাণ $1.5 বিলিয়ন বেশি, যার বড় অংশই পোশাক। তার মানে সম্পর্ক বড় হলেও কাঠামো খুব একটা বদলায়নি। এর মাঝেই নতুন সুযোগ, নতুন দরজা খুলে দিয়েছে জাপানের সাথে নতুন অংশীদারিত্ব চুক্তি। আমরা কি সব সুযোগ সুবিধা নিতে প্রস্তুত? সব খবর জানতে আজকের দ্য বিজনেস আপনাদের সাথে আছে আমি 𝗤𝗏𝗂𝗃। দর্শক, এই বিষয়ে কথা বলতে আমরা আমন্ত্রণ জানিয়েছি জাপান এক্সটার্নাল ট্রেড অর্গানাইজেশন 𝗤𝗲𝗃 কান্ট্রি রিপ্রেজেন্টেটিভ 𝗏𝗂𝗂𝘁𝗃𝗏𝗀𝗃 কাতাওকাকে। আসুন তাকে স্টুডিওতে স্বাগত জানাই। Mr. 𝗏𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗏𝗀, thank you for giving us time today, and this is the first time we are having such discussions in this particular show, and welcome to Jamuna Television as well.
Thank you very much.
As we are sitting in a time where Bangladesh and Japan trade relation has touched a new milestone. But before that, as it is a friendship of 5 decades or more than 5 decades, I want to know about your observation. How do you think this trade relation has been evolving in last 5 decades, and how it is, trending for future? And do you think any other milestones that we had already or we are going to have in future?
Okay, so first of all, thank you very much for having me. And as you know, so shortly after Bangladesh became independent in 1971, Japan have given development assistance to Bangladesh. So since then, even now, there are many development projects in Bangladesh funded by Japanese government. The number of Japanese company in Bangladesh was 120 or 30 in 2012. But now the number of Japanese company is about 350.
Wow.
So now the economic tie is quite strengthening. As I would like to keep this momentum to make a more how can I say deeper, more deeper or friendly relations between Bangladesh and Japan.
I had the privilege to visit Tokyo a few years ago, and on that, in 3 or 4 shops, I have found, clothes or shirts or pants written "Made in Bangladesh." So that made me really proud. But when I was searching for the data, when I was preparing for this show, it came in front of me that the exports to Japan from Bangladesh is around 1.5 billion, 1.3 to 1.5 billion in between. And 80% of this is mostly, ready-made garments. I would like to know why this has not evolved other than these products. This is we are talking about an engagement of 5 decades. Why couldn't we diversify the export market? What happened actually?
Okay, well, that is related to the industrial policy of Bangladesh. But from my perspective, for example, the abundant labor or cheap labor cost, or honestly speaking, it's attractive to foreign companies. So in comparison with South Asian country or other South Asian country, Bangladesh has become the destination for the government sector or for government companies to establish the factory here, because government factory need abundant labor or a cheap labor cost. But I think we have to shift from labor intensive industry to capital intensive industry in the future. So in that context, we need some other competitive element to export or to be selected by the foreign investors. But so far, as I mentioned earlier, so the attraction of this country was the labor cost or abundant labor. So the garment industry occupied a large majority of exports from Bangladesh to foreign countries. But we have to see, we have to have a new industrial policy, particularly focusing on the capital-intensive industry in this country.
We are going to have more discussions about this, but we'll be talking about the EPA. But before that, as you are saying that the number of Japanese companies in Bangladesh has doubled in last 12 to 14 years. That's a very good thing to see. But still, I will say that this kind of investment is really moderate for Bangladesh. This has not seen the sharp, jump like Vietnam that we have seen after the China Plus strategy, that Vietnam was seeing a huge jump in the Japanese investment in there, but Bangladesh couldn't have that. Why is that?
So you mean like from a Japanese perspective,
From the
right?
Japanese perspective,
so,
why didn't you invest more?
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to emphasize that Japanese company invest in this country not only from Japan but also from their regional headquarters like Singapore. So I mean, like, so if you see the amount of investment from Japan, it's not necessarily reflected by the importance of Japanese companies. So first of all, Japanese companies have committed to Bangladesh for a decade, 2 decades, and the importance of this country is not changed. And we cannot see the importance based on the investment not only from Japan. And but your point is quite right, meaning Vietnam is still a popular destination for Japanese investors. So we have to see the reason why Vietnam has been popular. The first one is like a stable gas and electricity supply, and also stable operation at the port. And of course, we can see the lower logistic cost because of the geographical situation, the circumstance. But so, for example, in Bangladesh, of course, for example, as a country representative 𝗔𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃, I'd like to bring more investment from Japan. But if you see the stability of electricity or like a gas, there are some problems. And at the port, particularly at the 𝗔𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃 port, we need a stable operation. Otherwise, we cannot ensure the lead time from Bangladesh to Japan when we would like to export the product from here. And also, if we would like to, let's say, we like to export to Japan, of course, the logistics cost is always challenging. So China, Vietnam, Thailand, for example, other like Southeastern countries are the closer to Japan rather than from Bangladesh. So we have to see the logistics cost too. But on the other hand, if the Bangladesh can have more stable the supply of support operation or like gas, electricity, other infrastructure, of course, this country is more paid more attention from the not only from Japan but also from other countries.
The questions I'll be asking now, this is not actually for a 𝗔𝗲𝗃 official, but also for a trade expert like you. The questions will be as Bangladesh is preparing for LDC graduation right now. So this is the time that for last 5 decades we have been experiencing or benefiting from the LDC status, and we're getting duty-free access to many markets in the world. Still, the export has not been that much like the other countries or the Vietnam or Cambodia and the other competitors you are talking. What actually happened to your perception? I can see that there are issues with the port and there are issues with the other infrastructures and everything. But do you think we are preparing enough to make a significant difference in future as we move from LDC to a developing country?
Okay, so first of all, as I mentioned, LDC country have a duty access. Free access to developed countries like Japan in general. But like for example, when it comes to Japanese market, Japanese people are particular about the quality. We need a quality, and I have visited several like garment factories in Bangladesh, and they would like to sell their product to Japan, and I know, but they are also struggling with quality control. So the quality is quite important. But I also would like to say that if they can fulfill the requirement of the quality for Japan, they can export the product to many other countries as well. So even if like even after Bangladesh graduate from the LDC status, the quality is quite important. And of course, I know that I heard from the media, or like I heard from the government agency, that like Bangladesh is considering to extend LDC status for 3 years.
Yeah.
They are applying for the United Nations. But I understand it, because like if we keep the status as long as possible, that might be beneficial for Bangladeshi manufacturers. But we also have to see the long-term strategies, because this country will be not ended after 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, how does this government or like a country want to be? That is very important. Then we have to strengthen, we have to increase, we have to improve the quality, we have to be more competitive in comparison with other countries. We need such a long-term industrial policies as well.
And this is going to be the last question before the break. With Bangladesh opening more trade and investment facilities with the United States under the reciprocal tariff agreement, how does Japan's point of view regarding this kind of attitude to a particular country and not to others?
Okay, I'm honestly speaking, I'm not so familiar with the agreement between Bangladesh and the U.S. But I'd like Bangladesh to be positive for this agreement. Meaning, so again, like I'm not so familiar with the agreement, but United States might give some like a requirement to Bangladesh, to, for example, to mitigate some regulation or something like that. But this might motivate Bangladesh to improve the investment environment. That can bring more investment from the other countries. So this might be like some kind of pressure can be utilized to improve, to make a better environment in this country. And as you know, like Japan also is working with the United States, and Japan also had other like agreement with the United States on trade. But we are also working with the United States. On the other hand, this might give a positive impact, not only economic relations, but also other relations. So I'd like Bangladesh government to be positive and to improve a good environment for trade. Yes.
Okay, and we will be discussing more about the EPA that we just had with Japan, but after the break. দর্শক, আমরা একটি বিরতি নিব। বিরতির পর জেট্রোর কান্ট্রি রিপ্রেজেন্টেটিভের সাথে আরো আলোচনা হবে। খুব দ্রুত ফিরব, আমাদের সাথেই থাকুন। দর্শক, আরেকবার স্বাগত। আপনারা দেখছেন দ্য বিজনেস। আমাদের সাথে স্টুডিওতে আছেন জাপান এক্সটার্নাল ট্রেড অর্গানাইজেশন জেট্রোয়ের কান্ট্রি রিপ্রেজেন্টেটিভ 𝗏𝗂𝘂𝘁𝗂𝗃 As I was saying that we'll be talking about EPA more in this particular segment, and I'm talking about the for the audience, this is the economic preferential agreement that we just had with Japan in a few months back. And if I consider this kind of environment right now, the business environment or the the overall investment scenario here in Bangladesh, how do you think, how are you going to measure the environment for investment here in Bangladesh right now, and how do you think that Bangladeshi companies are actually preparing for this kind of agreement? I'm actually trying to say, how many firms or companies do you think, or what are the sectors you think they are actually right now, they are EPA, they are ready for the EPA benefits and they are ready to go further?
Thank you very much. First of all, so Bangladesh is preparing to graduate from LDC status. LDC has already has a duty-free access to developed country like Japan. So even after the EPA agreement, the situation is not changed very much. They continue to receive the duty-free access to such countries. But on the other hand, in general, after the graduation of LDC, the trade conditions or requirement will be more strict. But Bangladesh government did a great job, very great job, hard work to keep the requirement similar with LDC status. So we have to evaluate it, and in particular, the rural origin for the garment industry is also, let's say, it became not strict. So we can continue to export the product, particularly garment garment from Bangladesh to Japan. So that is really good. But on the other hand, from Japan to Bangladesh, some Bangladesh people expect more investment from Japan to Bangladesh, and I really appreciate it. But Japanese company always comparing the investment environment with South Asian countries or South Asian countries, including India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan. So Bangladesh, we actually, I'm now serving as a Secretary General for Japanese Commerce and Industry Association in Dhaka. We call it Shokokai in Japanese. And there are 180 Japanese members, member companies. And we sometimes discuss about the investment environment of this country. But honestly speaking, they are suffering from several investment involvement, including political policy inconsistency, and also long time of the government procedure, something like that. So, of course, EPA can motivate a Japanese company to invest in this country, but first we have to improve the investment environment friendly for the foreign investors, including Japanese companies. So that is the first step. And of course, I expect EPA can make more investment from Japan.
Do you think the JETRO survey has often highlighted that there are some irregularities with the policy and the other issues? But do you think there were any? Do you think is there any improvement in last 2 years at least, from Bangladesh perspective?
Yes, I can say that BIDA did numerous efforts to improve the investment environment. And for example, the other day they launched 𝗥𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁 that makes the foreign investors do the procedure online very easily, and they kindly received some inquiries from foreign investors. So there is some improvement, but we can also see some gap between a policy and also implementation. So I hope their policy, their improvement can be seen at the operational level. Then we can say that, oh, this environment is improved. So I say that for the past 2 years, yes, there is some improvement, but I also would like how can I say, no gap between implementation and policy.
What are the immediate opportunities you see after the EPA agreement that the investors from both the countries or the business process from both the countries should take right now?
So from Bangladesh to Japan, as I said earlier, there are not many changes. So, and if a Bangladesh company can improve the quality of the product, of course, more product will go to Japan. So that is what I would like to say. And from Japan to Bangladesh, tariff rate is always like a pet attention, but in the EPA, we can also some like rules agreement, including the transparency, including the intellectual property, something like that. So if Japanese companies suffer from some procedures or some regulation, we can say that, no, this rule is written in the EPA. So from Japanese investors, we can say that we can like do the business more easily based on the EPA, and I hope Bangladesh government also, let's say, ensure the policy consistency or like international standard operation based on the EPA.
Japanese firms has consistently pointed out that regarding the issues with the productivity gaps, and if I consider the all the other ASEAN countries that you have been doing business for a very long time, is there any benchmark comparison that you can see in the labor in Bangladesh which are actually supporting the Japanese supply chain right now? Is there any significant difference do you see, or any significant improvement you see among the laborers of the ASEAN countries and the laborers from Bangladesh as well, as you are talking about the productivity gap?
Okay. I think first Bangladesh labor, Bangladesh worker, skilled worker, their quality is really good, really good. But again, we have to see the attraction of this country, meaning the abundant labor is one of the attraction to foreign investors. So foreign investors come to this country to receive the labor, abundant labor. So many industry that foreign companies are engaged in are related to labor-intensive industry. So, of course, I'd like to say that this country might improve the productivity, but Bangladesh, foreign companies want the abundant labor, so labor industry, which might be difficult to have a high productivities. But the labor cost, the quality is really good, and if this country would like to improve the productivity, of course they have to shift to the capital-intensive industry. But then we have to again reconsider the strengths of this country, not only the abundant labor, but also others. And what are the others? We have to see.
Okay, when the first time I visited the metro rail project here in Bangladesh, in Dhaka, the first thing I said to my mind that this exactly looks like a Japanese metro station in Tokyo. Considering the fact Japan has been contributing in Bangladesh infrastructure projects for a very long time, and metro rail is one of the symbolic project that we can see. And there was the third terminal project as well. I'm talking about the new airport. Do you think the Bangladeshi companies are, preparing enough or, skilled enough right now to make significant difference in this kind of construction projects in Japan or in any other countries? How are you doing? And do you think, is there any opportunities for the Japanese companies as well in near future for other infrastructure projects or for investments as well to come in Bangladesh and work with us? And also the third point will be, do you think that we are, preparing enough to get the management standard or the technological standard from you?
Thank you very much. So that is a really important and interesting question. So Japan, particularly JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, have implemented lots of development projects. And now there are ongoing the big project, including the Dhaka third terminal, and also Dhaka Metro, and also maybe like a Matabari port, this deep sea port. And I hope this project will be successful in the future, but it's still ongoing. And firstly, I say that the maintenance is quite important. So how to manage after the project, after the project is completed, after construction is completed, Bangladesh engineer have to maintain in the infrastructure. So, of course, 𝗖𝗂𝗃, Japanese company, trying to transfer the skills or like provide a training for the Bangladesh engineers to maintain the kind of infrastructure, but we have to to maintain it first. And also, it's not easy to, it takes time for Bangladesh companies to construct such infrastructure, but now the Bangladesh company are receiving like a technology transfer, not only technology but also some skills or like other stuff. And then I expect Bangladesh company also can construct such infrastructure in the future. And also, I also like to say that probably my question answer is a little bit different from your question, but this project can be the game changer of Bangladesh in the business sector. Meaning, if we can we can construct a third terminal, we can start the operation at the third terminal, we can bring more cargoes, we can bring more passengers, meaning, and we can increase the direct flight, and even like a Dhaka metro. If Bangladesh people can commute by metro, more people can commute metro. This like some problem coming from the urbanization, also might be solved. So that kind of big infrastructure, it can be the game changer for this country, particularly in terms of the economy. So I'm really happy that Japanese company or like a Japanese the agency are working for this project in Bangladesh.
Do you think they will be interested enough to go for other infrastructure projects in future? And I'm asking for the Japanese companies.
Yes, of course. Like for example, I heard that in 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏, that is a long-term project. So even after the deep sea port, there are other projects, including the I don't know, but some project might be related to the energy sector, some project might be like economic zone, industrial zone, and also road construction, something like that. So there are many projects. There are many let's say the development side that we have to see, and since your independence, Japanese company have been involved in such a project. So that is that is endless.
Yes. We think of the same. We are going to take another break and then we will be asking 10 rapid fire questions to you and some other questions as well. দর্শক আরেকটি বিরতির পর খুব দ্রুত ফিরবো দি বিজনেস আমাদের সাথেই থাকুন। আরও স্বাগত। আপনারা দেখছেন দ্য বিজনেস। আমাদের সাথে স্টুডিওতে আছেন জাপান এক্সটার্নাল ট্রেড অর্গানাইজেশন 𝗔𝗲𝗃 কান্ট্রি রিপ্রেজেন্টেটিভ 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃 Kataoka. As I was saying that I will be asking 10 rapid fire questions to you. This is actually an important part of the show, and that questions are actually sent by the young professionals or the young generation who are going to watch you in this episode. So I'm going to be asking the first question right now. The first thing they want to know, what is the best thing you like about Bangladesh?
That is the hospitality.
Hospitality?
Yes.
What about the food?
Food, yes. I quite often I eat a biryani.
Yeah.
I also tried many times 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃 and doi. Yeah, of course I love the food.
Great.
But
second question.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Please.
Second question. One quality that Bangladesh is ahead of other than its competitors.
I would like to say that is the hospitality.
Okay.
People have a very high hospitality, and but in the garment sector, people say they are really genuine, and they are so work hard, and people are really concentrated. So that might be advantage in comparison with other countries in business. Yes.
And what is the area Bangladesh should work more to improve?
Quality.
Okay.
Quality and the maintenance.
Quality and the maintenance.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. The fourth question will be one risk that Japanese investors quietly worry about but do not talk a lot about it while they are doing business in Bangladesh.
Risk.
Yes, one risk that Japanese investors are always facing quietly.
But people say, like that is a political instability on the policy inconsistency. Yes.
Okay. Fifth question. What kind of team culture do you personally prefer when you are working in a particular company or an organization?
Team culture.
Yeah.
I love to work with teammates. So if we can concentrate on the one event together, that would be the best as a team.
Okay, fair enough. Sixth question. When you hire someone, what quality do you value the most?
Communication.
Okay. You check that before you hire someone, that whether he can communicate or not.
Yes. If for example, if I give some question, I want the right question that I'd like to have.
Ah, great.
Yes.
That's a very interesting way to know. Seventh question. When you evaluate a country before going to trade, what do you prioritize the most?
It depends on the industry, but if I, for example, a businessman would like to explore the domestic market, I'd like to see the scale of market. Okay. And if I would like to manufacture some product, I'd like to see the number of the labor, the abundant labor, that can be hired in the factory.
The eighth question. In your own leadership style, do you lean more towards speed or stability?
Speed.
Speed?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, fine. The next question, 9. When you have limited information and high stakes, do you prefer to wait for clarity or move forward with calculated risk?
My calculated risk.
You will always move forward. You are not going to wait for clarity.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. This is going to be a hypothetical situation given by them. If a sudden global crisis disrupted supply chains tomorrow, what's the first thing you would advise Bangladeshis to do to keep the Japanese investors confident?
That's also quite difficult, but the infrastructure is quite important. So to keep the infrastructure, including gas and water and electricity, that might be important. So I'd like to advise such a way. Such as things, yes.
Fair enough. I think we're done with the rapid fire questions, and I guess the young audience has got their answers as well.
Okay.
So moving to the bigger questions again, what I know so far about you, that you have been working with the small and medium entrepreneurs in Japan for a very long time, and
yes.
we have a big number of medium and small industries here in Bangladesh as well. As we are having a EPA right now, and there is a possibility that these SME entrepreneurs from both the countries can work together in near future, if JETRO is planning something like that, or is there any possibility that you see that can create a big market for both the countries in future?
Yes. Firstly, I can say that there is some possibility, big possibility, to work together between Japanese SMEs and Bangladesh SMEs. So that is, and also my mission, to connect Japanese companies with Bangladesh companies, particularly SMEs. Because, for example, when Japanese company would like to invest in Bangladesh, or would like to start some business in Bangladesh, they always suffer from the partner, the finding a partner, right partners. And now, I have visited some 𝗔𝗶𝗶𝘂𝘁𝗶 in Bangladesh to request the cooperation for making the collaboration between Japanese company and the Bangladesh company. If Japanese company would like to find some right partner at the member of the 𝗔𝗶𝗶𝘂𝘁𝗶. But so anyway, not only Japanese company, but also foreign companies, maybe they find it difficult to have a right partner. And then we have some potential to connect Japanese made and Bangladesh made. And before I joined JETRO, I have worked as a management consultant for Japanese SMEs.
Yeah.
So, and I know that I already realized that SME has a specific and high technology or skill to provide not only for the SMEs but for the large companies. So, but sometimes it's not visible. So I'd like to pick up the good technology, the good skill from Bangladesh SMEs to connect with Japanese SMEs. So there are many potentials to connect, and I hope I can work for that collaboration.
Is there any particular sector that you can, particularly point out that this sector has a good potential to work together in future?
But there are various sectors. But I'd like to say that IT sector is an advantage in this country, and there are many skilled IT engineers and IT companies.
Yeah.
So there are more possibilities for Japanese company to get interested in those companies.
Oh, that's really good to know. As the world is actually facing an energy crisis right now because of the Middle East crisis and everything, everyone is talking about oil. But I don't want to go in that particular direction. Rather, I would like to know that if there is a potential, to work together in this particular renewable energy sector for both the Bangladeshi and the Japanese companies in future, considering the fact the investments will be more in renewable energy than the other, oil and gases in future. So do you think we are working enough or we are communicating enough to make this happen?
Okay. There are currently several projects that Japanese companies are engaged in energy sector. So already Japanese companies are interested in the energy sector in this country. And you mentioned about the renewable energy. I know that Bangladesh government also is strengthening the expansion, trying to expand the energy sector, particularly in the renewable energy sector. And I know some Japanese companies are interested in that business or like a project, but we also would like to have the good bidding requirements and also partners.
Yeah.
And so we need, let's say, we have to ensure the profit or business sustainability in the renewable sector. And if we can find it, more Japanese people will come. But of course, I can say that in the energy sector also there is some potential to collaborate among the two countries, companies.
Great. We are at the very end of this show. The last questions I would like to ask that how do you see the future of Bangladesh and Japan trade relation in next 1 decade?
Okay. First, Japan is already ready to invest in this country more. And as I said earlier, the investment environment is the most important. So if this environment is improved, we can bring more investment from Japan. And also, I personally expect that Bangladesh company will invest in Japan in the future. So Bangladesh also have lots of many conglomerate company or big company that are competitive in the global market. So if they can expand the business not only in Bangladesh and also but also overseas, I expect they choose Japan as a destination to expand the business. So I will wait for that kind of business. Then we can make win-win relations, or in the both way, we can make some new business. So in the decade, it should happen, and we have to make it happen. So then JETRO would like to work for it.
We hope the same. Mr. 𝗏𝗂𝘂𝗁𝗂, thank you again for giving us time today, and it was nice having you in this show.
Thank you very much.
বাংলাদেশে বাজেটের সময় বার্ষিক উন্নয়ন কর্মসূচির যে একটি বই ছাপা হয়, খুব মোটা একটা বই, সেই বইয়ে আলাদা করে কয়েকটি পৃষ্ঠা থাকে, যে পৃষ্ঠাতে শুধুমাত্র জাপানের সহায়তায় বাংলাদেশে কি কি ধরনের উদ্যোগ বা প্রকল্প বাস্তবায়ন হচ্ছে সেটিকে আলাদাভাবে হাইলাইট করার জন্য সেই পৃষ্ঠাগুলোকে কিন্তু রাখা হয়। অন্য কোনো দেশের ক্ষেত্রে কিন্তু এটি করা হয় না, এবং এটি করাই হয় কারণ বাংলাদেশের স্বাধীনতার পর থেকেই যেই দেশটির কাছ থেকে বাংলাদেশ সবচেয়ে বেশি যে কোনো ক্ষেত্রে সহায়তা পেয়েছে, ঋণ চেয়েছে বা যে কোনো ধরনের উদ্যোগে পাশে পেয়েছে, সেটি হচ্ছে জাপান। তার মানে এই যে 5 দশকের সম্পর্কের কথা শুরু থেকে আমরা বলছিলাম, এই সম্পর্কটি শুধুমাত্র সম্পর্কের জায়গায় না থেকে এটি এক ধরনের বন্ধুত্বের জায়গায় হয়ে গিয়েছে। তারপরও যেটি হয়েছে, বাংলাদেশের সাথে যখন জাপানের রপ্তানি বাজারকে আমরা মূল্যায়ন করেছি, আমরা দেখেছি যে রপ্তানির পরিধি বা বাণিজ্যের পরিধি সেটি আসলে 5 দশকে যতটা বাড়ার কথা ছিল ততটা হয়তো পারেনি। কিন্তু কাজুইকি কাতোয়াকাজকে বলছিলেন যে এটিকে আরও অনেক বেশি সামনে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যাওয়ার সুযোগ আছে, বিশেষ করে এখন যে অর্থনৈতিক অংশীদারিত্ব চুক্তি হয়েছে সেটিকে কেন্দ্র করে অনেক বেশি এটিকে সামনে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যাওয়ার সুযোগ রয়েছে। কিন্তু সেক্ষেত্রে আসলে বাংলাদেশকে সবচেয়ে বেশি যেখানে গুরুত্ব দিতে হবে, বাংলাদেশকে পণ্যের মান এবং পণ্যের যে গ্রহণযোগ্যতা সেটি সবার আগে নিশ্চিত করতে হবে জাপানের বাজারে। একই সাথে তারা আশা করে যেহেতু গত 12 বছরে জাপানের কোম্পানির সংখ্যা বাংলাদেশে দ্বিগুণ হয়েছে বিনিয়োগের ক্ষেত্রে, সেটি সামনে আরও বাড়বে এবং দুই দেশই অর্থনৈতিক সমৃদ্ধির প্রতি দুই দেশকে সঠিকভাবে সহায়তা করবে। দর্শক, এতক্ষণ ধরে যারা এই আয়োজন দেখেছেন তাদের সবাইকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ। সবাই অনেক ভালো থাকবেন।